Hey guys, this is Javier with HCG Diet Miami as well as HCG Near Me, and this is our HCG Diet Plan presentation. This is the same presentation that all of our walk-in clients receive here at HCG Diet Miami. And this video is intended, it's for everyone, but it is intended for our clients who are in New York, California, Texas, and all these different cities and states, clients that we service through the powerful use of telemedicine. So let's jump right on into this. Now, with this diet plan, there's a lot of straightforward concepts and straightforward information. So there's a lot of pages that we are going to skip through because they're just really to understand, and anyone can just read it and get the point that's being presented. But we're going to go through it. I will focus on a few pages that are the important pages, but for the most part, we will be skipping through a good number of pages that are straightforward information that somebody can read about. And if there's any questions, they can always call the office or send us an email. So moving along, this first two pages basically talk about HCG and what HCG is. And I think at this point, anyone who's watching this video has a good idea of what HCG is. These next two pages is an introduction into our clinic and how we opened up and how we came to be. And again, I'll just go ahead and let you guys read on that. This page here talks about the basics, and I will briefly mention here where the original HCG diet was started in the 1950s, and they had some really different concepts and rules for that diet. And I just want people to know that you want to follow our modern program. Okay, so everything to the left of this graph is what you want to follow. Everything to the right is a little bit outdated and old for the diet. So as you can see here, back then they used 500 calories on this diet. We don't do that. We use about 800 calories or more, depending on a person's height, weight, age, sex. We're going to look at those things and we're going to determine whether they can do 800 or perhaps a little more based on their body size and body type. I want you to keep something in mind. In the 1950s, foods were processed a whole lot different than how they were today. There's been evolution in the human body. We're bigger, faster, stronger these days than we were back then. And a proof of that is that if you watch the Olympics, every year there's new records being broken, and that's because we're bigger, faster, stronger. We need more calories. A good 800 calorie protocol with the HCG is the way to go, and it's really, really fabulous. It works great. So follow all the concepts on the left, and everything that's on the right, it's outdated. You don't have to follow those things, okay? Moving along, preparing your body for the HCG assisted diet. I'll let you read that. There's good information there, straightforward stuff. And now we get to this page here, HCG assisted diet, phase 1. Well, phase 1 of the diet are the first 2 days. They're called loading days. You get to load up, okay? You get to load up, you get to eat, you get to have fun, pizza, burgers, ice cream, all that good stuff. And I understand you're probably saying, well, wow, that's crazy, loading up. We're trying to lose weight, not gain weight. Well, remember, you're taking a powerful hormone, okay? And we have to activate this hormone within your system. How do we do that? Well, the first 2 days, you're going to load up. You're going to get your fat storage up as you start taking the hormone. You start taking your injection. And what that's going to do is it's going to help to activate that HCG in your system when you get over to phase 2 and you drop your caloric intake, okay? So phase 1, first 2 days, they're loading days. It's real important to load up. If you want to have a successful program, you got to load well. Okay, when people don't do a good job of loading up and they try to do the diet without the loading stage, they don't quite activate that HCG in their system, and they don't have very, very good results. The people that load up well, they tend to have much better results because they do a good job of getting their fat storage up and getting that HCG in their system. Okay, keep in mind that a pregnant woman develops 1 million IUs of HCG in her system when she's pregnant. Why does she do that? Well, that HCG protects the fetus from starving in the event that the mother's not consuming enough calories. And the way the fetus gets nutrients is, well, it consumes off of the adipose body fat. That's where it goes for its nutrients. So it protects the fetus from starvation, but it also protects the mother because it's going to consume the adipose body fat and it's not going to touch the mother's muscle tissue. So it protects the mother in that it's going to help the mother retain her muscle tissue, and it protects the fetus in that it's going to help that fetus consume off of the body fat. So if you're taking HCG and you're not pregnant and you don't have a fetus, you become the fetus. Okay, when you start consuming less calories, the HCG is going to help protect you from starvation, if you will, by consuming the nutrients and the necessary calories that it needs from the adipose body fat. So loading days, they're real important. Okay, and you are not helping your diet if you try to not load up. You gotta load up. Okay, help yourself with the diet. Load up. You must load up. Okay, so moving along. The HCG Phase 2. So Phase 1 is over. You loaded up. You did great. You started taking your injections. Now comes Phase 2, which is days 3 to 30 or 3 to 60, depending on how many days you're doing your diet. Some people do a 30-day, other people do a 60-day. So on the Phase 2, okay, you're going to be following a diet that is about 800 calories. And here we have a sample menu for Phase 2. Okay, now I want to go to the bottom of this menu and just read these two rules. You must have breakfast 30 minutes from the time you wake up. Okay, so breakfast over here, if you're getting up around 7 a.m., I want you guys getting something in your system by at least 7:30 a.m. Okay, I want to make sure that you have something from the time that you wake up. And this might go against what people that believe in intermittent fasting, which I believe in intermittent fasting, it might go against their diet rules or diet rules from other diets. But keep in mind, this is the HCG diet, and you're taking a very powerful hormone that's going to help your body to eliminate the body fat. So I want you to wake up. If you're waking up around 7, 30 minutes from the time that you wake, I want you to consume your breakfast. I don't want you waking up at 7 and eating breakfast at 10:30, 11 o'clock. A lot of people do that. Don't do it. Okay? And also in the bottom here, substitutions: protein for protein, carb for carb, fruit for fruit. So if you want to substitute, that is fine. However, make sure that you're substituting something that's going to give you the caloric intake that you want or that you need. So for example, if you don't want 2 ounces of beef, chicken, or fish in the morning, that's a protein. If you want to substitute that, you got to substitute it for another protein. I can't take that out and then have, oatmeal or grits for it, because the oatmeal or grits is a carbohydrate. The beef, chicken, or fish is a protein. You can't do that. Okay, you got to substitute things that are alike. For the most part, this is a pretty easy sample menu that one can follow. You have your breakfast, morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, dinner, and down here, if you can see where my cursor is at, in cases of extreme hunger, add lean protein and veggies on those tough days. So you can uptake your protein and veggies if you're having one of those days where you're just really hungry. Okay, and another thing that you want to do to kind of eliminate strong hunger pangs during the day, I want you guys to keep a 3-hour window. What do I mean by that? Well, if you eat breakfast at 7:30, I don't want this morning snack any later than 10:30. I don't want you to go more than 3 hours without consuming something. Okay, so on and so forth. So if you have that morning snack at 10:30, let's go ahead and have lunch no later than 1:30. Keep a 3-hour window when doing this so that we don't have strong hunger pangs and then you try to, eat 600, 700 calories in one meal towards the end of the day when you're really hungry. Okay, so that is the Phase 2 sample menu. This page here talks about a typical day on the HCG diet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is stuff that's straightforward. I'll let you read it. You have a list down here of different lean proteins that you can have. And in Phase 2, it's lean proteins. You don't want to have any cold cuts or anything that's processed. It's all lean vegetable. It's lean meats, vegetables. That's about it. You're really eating clean in Phase 2. This is a vegetable list. I'll let you guys go through that. This is a salad, fruits and spices and seasoning and herbs and condiments. And basically straightforward. It tells you what you can and cannot have. This page here talks about a stall. What is a stall? What should I do if I'm on one? A stall is just what it sounds like. If you go into a stall, it means that you've gone a couple days without losing a pound. If that happens, you might be stalling, or you might possibly not be following the diet. But either way, if you go into a stall, give me a phone call first. I want to make sure that you are indeed in a stall before you start trying to do what's called stall breakers. Now, the stall breakers, I'm not going to go over them, but I will mention them. You have a cantaloupe plateau breaker, you have a Dr. Simeon's apple day, and you have a Dr. Simeon's steak day. They're very easy to understand. I'll let you guys read that so that we can move along with this video. And all this is still talking about a stall. All right, Phase 3. So you did Phase 1. You loaded up the first 2 days. You did phase 2, you inject it yourself, you followed an 800 calorie diet, but now you're done. You're at phase 3. So I can't, we can't stay at 800 calories for the rest of our lives. Once we've lost the weight and we've gotten to a body weight that we're happy with, we have to then increase our calories so that so that we can live off of a certain amount of calories so that it can maintain the new body weight. Our new body weight is definitely not going to be maintained if we stay at 800 calories. So basically, phase 3, stabilization and maintenance, is all about adding calories back to your diet, but slowly. We can't go from 800 calories up to, let's say, 1,500 calories from one day to the next. We got to do it in a 3-week period. And the way you do that is you go a little bit at a time. So let's assume you got to go from 800 to 1,500 calories. A person will probably increase their calories about 300 per week until they get to that 1,500. Now, all the math is in here on how to calculate how much calories you're supposed to be consuming. So don't worry, it's in here and it's really easy to understand. But just know that phase 3 is nothing more than just increasing your calories slowly until you get to that right number that maintains that new body weight that you have. So, and in this example that we have in here in the manual, I'll read it out to you. For phase 3 maintenance, there are 3 more weeks of work on your program. If you started at 750 calories, you need to add 250 additional calories each week. Remember that you are to stay at 750 calories without the HCG injections for 3 days after using all your HCG. So just like it says, after you use all your HCG, you're going to take 3 days where you're just sticking to the same caloric intake, and then you're going to slowly start going up again. And all the math is in here. It's pretty easy. Here you have a sample menu for phase 3, okay? And this sample menu here is for a female of 130 pounds, okay? And down here we have a sample menu for a male of 165 pounds. So these are sample menus for phase 3. You already saw the sample menu for phase 2. The biggest difference from the phase 2 and phase 3 menus is that in phase 3 we start adding back fatty foods. You couldn't have fats in phase 2, but now you could have them in phase 3. Here you have some olive oil, and down here I believe there is some cottage cheese or mozzarella cheese. So basically the difference is you can have fats in phase 3. So the rest of this is some lists, some food lists. And those same foods, we have them here where it shows you their caloric content and how many calories a certain food has. Phase 4, the rest of your life, you've lost the weight, you stabilized, you brought your calories back up, you look great, you feel great. How are we going to keep? Now we want to keep you from gaining 30 pounds again, okay? We don't want you as a repeat customer at HCG Diet Miami. We don't want repeat customers. We want referral customers. You can send your family and friends to us, but we don't want to see you again. So make sure you guys read phase 4 and understand it. It's very easy concepts to understand, but it's very, very important, okay? Here you have how to calculate your daily caloric intake. Like I said, we teach you how to calculate how many calories your new body is supposed to have on a daily basis. This page here talks about something called leptin resistance. Why do most diets fail? Well, because a lot of people have a condition that's called leptin resistance. We want you to educate yourself on this. It's really important. So we will let you read that. I won't go into detail with it now in the interest of time with this video. So all this is leptin resistance. And the next section after leptin resistance talks about the power of carnitine. Carnitine is an amino acid. It's the main ingredient in our lipoline or lipotropic injectables, okay, our vitamin cocktails. Read this part, okay? This is really important. You could do this together with HCG. Carnitine is a fat burner. It's a natural and safe fat burner. There's no caffeine or anything that's bad for the heart. It's natural, it's safe. You want to make sure that you read up on that, okay? Now this page has some tips on eating out. I'll let you read that. Exercise routines and options. We do want you to exercise. I would like for you to exercise while doing the HCG diet. You want to make sure you burn anywhere from 250 to 300 calories, but you're not doing any crazy workouts. It's very mild exercise. I do want you to exercise. Give me a call if you have questions about exercise routines and options. Just make sure that it's very mild and it's not too intensive. Okay, this page here is nothing more than a chart where you can track down your progress in phase 2. And this takes you all the way to 30 or 60 days, depending on the program you're doing. And here's the last page. This is also another chart that talks about your phase 3. You get to chart down and write your data as you start increasing your calories in phase 3. You can chart down that information here. So I know this was kind of brief, but this is your diet plan. Thank you so much for listening on the presentation. If you have questions, text or call or email me. This is Javier, HCG Diet Miami, HCG Near Me. I am out. Thank you.